Get into the show, 844-770-3776. What was your original Netflix and chill? Is that what we're asking? 844-770-3776. I'll tell you what, the Packer games last few weeks.
Has been your Netflix and chill. How are you going to transition to that?
I said for Packer fans, it could be theirs because it's one of those where you don't have to pay attention that much. There's not a lot going on. They score first, and then they kind of just hold on for their end and just kind of wait it out. So you can kind of just check in every once in a while. Everything good?
Know that playbook.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And then, so speaking of that playbook, should the Packers continue that playbook of scoring first and then just holding on for dear life?
I think so.
844-770-3776. Molly, do you have something to say?
I have nothing.
Savage.
I'm just going along with the ride.
The Packers are crushing it with this strategy right now, though.
To go back all the way back to the office, that's what she said.
Didn't take it from that. Okay.
But anyways, I do want to talk about the Packers and their playbook. And there's a clip online where I said, I think yesterday, where I talked about how Malik Willis might have brought out the best self or kind of fought off the intrusive thoughts that LaFleur would have, these offensive minds where you have this incredible quarterback and you have this ability to draw up these really crazy plays. And every once in a while, and it drives me insane, and Matt LaFleur is a good coach, so there's less of these, but when the Packers struggle offensively, it's when they get like a little too cute. And every team is with this, where the Chiefs, you've seen this, where they do this stupid merry-go-round thing, and you're like, man, you're scoring points already. You don't have to get, like, what are we doing right now?
Get jazzy with it.
Right, exactly. And I think, look, the Philadelphia Eagles are a good example with the tush push. They're just like, it works. So we're just going to continue to do it. And I think the Packers will be best served if they can they've seemed to find a little bit of a bread and butter of really leaning on the run to set up the pass. And I know it's kind of the general idea of this offense to begin with, but they've been leaning into it a little bit more. And they're clearly going to throw more with Jordan Love, but I want to ask this question, 844-770-3776. Should the Packers just continue to use the same playbook with Jordan Love that they've used the last 2 weeks with Malik Willis? Because, Molly, I'll give you the floor after this. Complementary football is what you said, and complementary football is a lot to do with how you're calling plays.
For sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm weary about how I think they're going to approach this game, just because I mean, we're all assuming that Jordan Love is going to play against the Minnesota Vikings, but how restricted is he going to be? Is he going to be mobile? Because I feel like even with the playbook that Matt LaFleur gave Malik Willis last week, Willis was kind of running his tail off a few times.
Yeah, if Jordan Love runs for 85 yards, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, like, and that's not the situation that you want to put him in either. So I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. Like, I also can't imagine him launching the ball down the field either, because I think he's going to be rusty. I think there's a very real chance that he's going to be rusty because we haven't seen him since, what was the date of the first Packers game? September 6th? That's 20 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me nervous. I'm nervous about the rust that's going to be coming off of Jordan Love.
Yeah, so then run that playbook for a week. Let him shake that rust off.
Right, but again, a lot of that playbook seemed like it had the out for Malik Willis to, like, get out with his feet. So, like, I do think that this playbook is going to have to be tweaked slightly for Jordan Love, just based on what he is capable of doing and how you're willing to risk him. Are you going to let him run a boot, and then if no options are there, you know, let him tuck it, or you want him throwing that away?
But then,
that you got to trust Jordan Love to do.
And I don't know offhand. I mean, he had 6 runs against the Colts. I don't know how many of those were designed runs as opposed to him running with it.
Well, I saw a couple like options, right? So like it's not necessarily designed for him to get it, but
runs against
he can take it.
But again, in the option, Love just gives it up.
But then there's also
you just make that if you have the 3 options: run, pass, or you keep it yourself.
Right.
He's just going to do one of the other 2.
But then there's also the idea of Josh Jacobs ran for 1,000 million yards 2 weeks ago. Eric Wilson looked good last week too. That how much?
Emmanuel?
Oh, did I say Eric? Sorry.
Yeah, Emmanuel, you're right. Yeah.
I was going to say Wilson, and then I said Eric Wilson, and then I'm thinking about the beautiful body thing from Wildy and Tausch when I think Ryan was producing that show. Body Beautiful. You got to go back and listen on Wisconsin On
Apparently
Demand.
Eric Wilson is absolutely jacked.
Who is Eric
He
Wilson?
is jacked. He's on defense.
He's the linebacker for the Packers.
His
Currently
Instagram,
playing
go look at his
over
Instagram. He's
Adrian
jacked.
Cooper.
It's insane.
He can't be as jacked as Sam Congato. You can look him up too. Jacked. And a doctor. Wow.
Just
I'll make sure to search private. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, don't look it up on your work computer.
Who is more jacked?
But no, I mean, how much do you think that they're gonna? how many miles do you think that they're going to put on the running backs too this week?
Oh, Tim in Oregon says this is why you have apparently Josh Jacobs is the best back in the league. Just give it to him.
I mean, he looked like the best back in the league 2 weeks ago against the Indianapolis Colts, but that's not why they brought him into Green Bay this year.
Right.
Like we've talked about it time and time again that he's not supposed to be the workhorse.
Right. To Matt's point, he's not going to finish the year, and I do feel like there was wear and tear on the
Back?
On him, and that's why his back is hurt.
Right.